BMW has just launched the R1300R. Let's get into this launch video of the 1300R. Right, first look of the bike. The bike is a lot more sportier than the previous version, and BMW has set out to make this bike a lot more sportier than the previous version. The head of development at BMW Motorrad said, with the new R1300R, we've taken our dynamic Roadster with the Boxer engine to a whole new level, focused uncompromisingly on riding dynamics. It delivers a far sportier experience than its predecessor thanks to a completely redesigned engine and chassis, while still retaining core BMW values such as touring capability and comfort. So, we obviously saw the motor the first time with the new 1300 GS. This is having the same motor, so the performance stats is basically identical. So it's going to come with a 107 kilowatt, 145 horsepower, compared to the 136 horsepower of the previous model. Newton meters 149 compared to the previous model's 143. The overall weight reduction from the 1250 to the 1300 drivetrain is about 6.5 kgs lighter. However, this model, this R is going to be 2 kgs heavier than the GS actually. Alright, if you spec the Headlight Pro, then obviously you're going to get adaptive headlight LEDs, so as you take the corner, it will obviously light up the corner as you turn. Alright, the tanks looks a little bit different. This, I hope this panel, black panel here underneath the badge is going to be of at least a little bit sun resistant, because that's obviously going to be a plastic, which I don't hope fade. But otherwise it's going to have a 17-liter tank, and fuel consumption is going to, BMW claims, is 4.8 per liters per 100 kilometers, so over 20 k's a liter, if you work it the other way around. Right, normal TFT display, dynamic suspension. So in the front we're going to have upside down telescopic fork suspension with 140 mils of travel. In the back we're going to have 130 mils of travel, thanks to the Evo Paralever 2 rear suspension. The telescopic upside down and the back suspension has got active dampening. Apparently it's the world's first production bike that has active dampening on upside down telescopic suspension in the front. Where the brakes is basically, in the front we're going to have a 310 millimeter dual disc brakes. In the back we're going to have a 285. In the front we're going to have a 4-piston floating caliper. In the back we're going to have a 2-piston floating caliper. Alright, ABS as standard. You get sport ABS as an optional extra on the R Performance model. Suspension. The exhaust has been redesigned. It's made completely out of aluminium steel, again, which is lighter than the previous exhaust. I must say this exhaust looks a lot better than the previous model. Obviously with the frame being redesigned, the whole backside of the bike has been redesigned, so that also looks a lot like the 1300 GS. It's got a steel middle frame and then a die-cast aluminium rear frame. Apparently that should help with the stiffness of the bike and then it's also going to, they say you're going to feel it a lot better under braking. You're going to feel the bike is a lot more precise under braking in the corners, according to BMW. It is a good looking bike. There is an optional extra that you can add to to the bike. We actually get an extra sticker on the rims. All right, just there when you shift the gear, you can spec the ASA system on this bike as an optional extra. So just like the 1300 Adventure GS, you can have a bike with no clutch that basically gives you the option of the bike gearing up and down for you, or are you gearing it up and down manually without the clutch. Out of my previous experience with the ASA system, as I said, if I'm pushing the bike, I would rather be in the manual mode, even though there's no clutch, because it doesn't feel like, you know, the throttle is closing on the shift. So on the downshifts, you know, the revs stay high, so then you feel that downshift is a lot more aggressive than if you would have done it yourself with a clutch. Again, that looks different. Okay, another thing that BMW has tried to get right with this bike basically is your riding position. So they wanted it still to have that ability to, you know, to put on your bags, whatever luggage system you're like, but be able to tour on this bike. If you're not going to do off-road and that type of thing, and you are a naked street bike kind of person, then you should still be able to do your long trips on this. However, they wanted the rider position to be more active and to be more sportier. So that's why you'll see as they're going these twisty corners, they said they did optimize the riding position for you to get more feedback, and to be able to do the bends a lot better. Not a bad looking bike. All right, we're just going to run through a few things that we didn't mention as we were going through the video. Seat height, obviously you're going to be able to spec your seat for whatever you like. However, depending on the seat, you're going to have either 780mm seat height or 810. Then it's going to come in 4 different colors: Snapper Rock's metallic color, Racing Blue metallic color, Lightweight unicolor, and Blackstorm metallic color. Apparently the gearbox has moved from behind the engine, like on the 1250, to below, which brings down your center of gravity on the bike. As I mentioned, the whole drivetrain is 6.5 kgs lighter as compared to the previous one. You're going to have an exclusive sport suspension that you can add on to the R1300R performance model if you want to, which is going to give you an extra ground clearance of 10mm. Then the wheels is 1.4 kgs lighter than the previous. It's alloy cast wheels. And then you get the M Sport brake option, as I mentioned, as an optional extra. You get ABS Pro as standard, dynamic traction control as standard, DCT shift, again on the performance model, you can add that as an optional extra. Seat heating for the rider and the passenger as an optional extras. Let's go into the comfort, the packages. You know, BMW has a comfort dynamic innovation packages always. So you get the seat heating in the comfort package, heated grip, obviously cruise control and preparation of the luggage system. Dynamic package, you've got DSA, Shift Assistant Pro, your normal driving modes, which would always be road, dynamic, and rain, and so on. And then Innovation Headlight Pro, Ride Assist. Extras that you can add, you can have, there's a bunch of options on the, obviously on the silencer, on the exhaust, navigation preparation. You can have the manifold dark chrome plated. You can swap out the battery for an M lightweight battery that is 2 kg less than the previous one. A large alarm system, comfort handlebars. Here, design wheel with red strip of paint across the rim base. Okay, you can add that if you want to. 0 to 100 in 3.39 seconds. Top speed over 200. It'll probably be the same as the GS. This is 2 kgs heavier than the GS though. Yeah, at 239, 17 liter tank. I do think they got it right to make the bike look more sportier. Out of the video, it looks like its handling is going to be a lot more sportier. However, we're only going to be able to judge that when we actually get the bike in South Africa. That would be in the third quarter of the year. And then we'll go and test it. And then we'll let you guys know if it actually is sportier than the previous version. And yeah, if you're a guy that is, mostly doing city riding and so on, you don't like adventure bikes, you're more into the naked type of bike feeling, but you want something that has enough low down torque, to get you going in the lower revs, not twisting your wrist the whole time, then this would be a good option. So you're going to have a lot more down low performance than with a V4 or a parallel twin or something that you need to get the revs up before you get going. This is going to give you another spectrum to look at. Boxer motor of the GS does feel a little bit more compact than the previous 1250, so I'm presuming this is going to be the same situation. And out of experience, if I can get through traffic with that, then we should be able to get through heavy traffic with the 1300R. They haven't released the official price yet, so we'll have to see what that comes into. However, I do not think it would be below 300. Let's say I don't think it's going to be below 330. It's going to be most likely there and up. It looks good. I still look forward into testing it, and you guys can stay tuned to see when that happens, and what do we think of when we actually get to ride it. Thank you for watching this quick video of the release of the R1300R. If you like bikes, if you like being updated with bikes, please consider liking and subscribing. See you in the next one.